Hello, today we celebrate the fourth Sunday in Ordinary Time. Here at the school, when we have our pep rally events or games, it gets very loud in the gym. You can imagine with all the excitement, with the encouragements, with the corrections, whatever happens, there's just a great noise that's happening all around you. And it's great to be caught up in that excitement. But it's not really the time or the place for you to have an intimate conversation with someone right next to you. Sometimes in our prayer life, we are so busy with everything around us that we're almost like in those games or pep rally, where it's hard for us to focus on the voice of God. We're not always quiet like Samuel is in the first reading, but God is constantly calling out to him as he does to us. Samuel, Samuel. Eventually, Samuel learns to listen to God's voice and respond with, "Here I am, Lord." What a beautiful phrase to be able to say in prayer. For ourselves, Christ gives himself to us so that we may hear his voice and hear it clearly. We know we hear him clearly, as the Second Vatican Council teaches us in the liturgy, and especially in the reading of Scripture, but also in our prayer life. Let's listen for God's voice more deeply, more intimately, and with greater attention. One of the greatest helps I found in listening and discerning God's voice is learning how his voice affects us so that we know with confidence that God is speaking. St. Ignatius says that when God speaks, there are always two realities that accompany it: peace and joy. As we go through prayer life, let's ask God that we may listen attentively to him, so that like Samuel, we may say, "Speak, Lord, your servant is listening," and then we may rest in the peace and the joy that always accompanies God's voice.
Thank you for listening to 2 Minutes to Virtue, produced by the Catholic Diocese of Arlington. We hope this episode helped to bring this week's gospel to life and inspires you to grow in Christian virtue and love of sacred scripture today and always. To stay up to date on when 2 Minutes to Virtue releases, be sure to subscribe wherever you're listening to the podcast or text 2M2V to 84576. Also, don't forget to join our public 2 Minutes to Virtue Facebook group for additional content and discussion. God bless.